know what you can handle and you know you'll be good. Woo! Nice little ripski there, bud. Yeah, start it off right, boys. Oh, yeah, bud. Send it. Yeah. What it do, everybody? It's your boy Brap Genius back again with another video. Today I'm going to tell you guys why you should ride dirt bikes before you start riding motorcycles. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, this video is geared more towards people that are younger, if you're like under 20. Because I understand if you're older, you kind of just want to get into it. Some people don't, or in general, some people don't want to wait to get a motorcycle. That's fine. But hear me out on this topic because it's pretty important. Now, for those of you that are young, if you are under the age where you can have a license, you should get a dirt bike as soon as you can if you eventually want to get into motorcycles, because dirt bikes will teach you things that you will not learn on the road, and they will prepare you for situations on the road that only a dirt bike can prepare you for. What I mean by this is if you're riding a dirt bike and you're riding over gravel, bunch of rocks, all different kinds of terrain, up these mountains, all this crazy stuff, that makes you a good rider over time. Whether you do it slowly or not, eventually you're going to get better. And that terrain, compared to riding on a overall pretty smooth surface of a pavement road, you know, it's really makes it a lot easier when you get out onto the pavement. And you know, there's been so many times on a dirt bike, you lock up your rear tire all the time. It's part of what you do. If that happens on the street and you're not used to it, you don't know how to react, and you know, you might go down if you do the wrong thing. I've had times I lock up the rear of this bike numerous times. From either trying to avoid an accident or because I just downshifted too quickly. Sometimes, you know, we all make mistakes. But, you know, being used to it from a dirt bike, I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I'll just, you know, whatever. Slide in the gear and be like, woo! And then you're good. But if you don't have that experience and you're not used to that, it'll scare the crap out of you. And then there's so many different things that you're not ready for on the street. Like, you know, potholes and stuff like that. You hit a pothole and you're not ready for it, you go flying. That'll scare the crap out of you. But, you know, if you ride over boulders every day on a dirt bike, you look at it and you're like, eh, whatever. You hit a pothole and you're like, yeah, I'm used to that. Like that pothole, it's fine. But there's so many other things that dirt bikes prepare you for as well that you don't even think about. One, obviously, would be shifting, because on a dirt bike, you know, most of the time, if you're on an MX dirt bike like I am, my YZ250, it's a 5-speed. Most of the time, if I'm in 5th gear, I'm doing like 40 something miles an hour probably. And I don't do it that often in the woods, but I'm shifting all the time, and it gives you a really good understanding for how to shift. And so once you get that all down pat, then going to a street bike, you know, you already have an understanding, especially if you have an older dirt bike and it has a mechanical clutch. You jump onto a motorcycle with a hydraulic clutch, oh my, it's night and day. And that's how I felt when I jumped on my Ninja 650. That was my first motorcycle. Oh, if I could go back in time, I would have done it all over the same way, because all the experience that I got on the dirt made the street so much easier for me than it would have been otherwise. A huge thing too, which I guarantee nobody even really thinks about, is emergency braking. A lot of people don't practice it unless they know about it or think about it when it comes to the street. But in the dirt, you actually do it a lot, because there's a lot of obstacles that you're not ready for. So if you're flying through a trail and all of a sudden you see a down log, you're like, oh damn, I gotta stop. You emergency brake, and you learn how to do it, and you learn what the right amount of brake is so that you don't go flying over your handlebars, how to use both the front and rear, the right balance between them. And really the only difference for the street is about 90% of your stopping power is on your front brake for the sport bike. Now, you don't want to grab too much, because you can actually, if you have ABS, you're fine, but if you lock your front brake, you're gonna go down. So you don't want to grab a handful of front brake either. But like I said, if you know how to emergency brake on a dirt bike, it will prepare you for when, hopefully you don't need to, but if you ever have to do it on a street, you'll be ready for it. I couldn't help myself. That's what I mean, going back to my other videos with, you know, should you start on a 600 or a 1000? Sometimes you can't help it. You just gotta go fast. You just get that urge, you're like, I gotta send it, dude. And that was one of them. And as I said in other videos, if you can master a smaller bike, it becomes so much easier when you jump onto a bigger bike because you understand all the fundamentals really, really well. So if you're on a dirt bike, even if it's a faster one, like I said, like I have a YZ250, going from, I think at the time I had a YZ125 when I jumped to my Ninja 650, but even still, you know, understanding a two-stroke and the power of it, the Ninja 650, the power on it did not scare me at all. I literally topped the bike out within a week of having it. So if you can get used to the power of, you know, some of the faster dirt bikes, you are much better off than you would be overall. You would be much better off than just jumping on a street bike. Once you get on the street from dirt, the only real difference is now there's people you have to watch out for. You got to watch out for all the cars. There's still obstacles in the way. You still have the same fundamentals and everything. But I think that's the most underrated thing that anybody talks about when it comes to riding motorcycles. You know, some people could say get a supermoto or get an enduro, and enduro is fine because then you could do a little bit of both. You could ride street and you could ride dirt. But being on the dirt at some point in your life before you get a motorcycle will make a huge difference in your riding ability, your confidence, and, you know, just the ability to stay safe and have fun. So, you know, if you guys can, if you have the patience to do so, you have the extra time, you're not like, I need a motorcycle today, I'm cool with, you know, learning on a dirt bike, I say get a dirt bike. And if you're really like, hey, I want to get a motorcycle now, instead of starting on like a Ninja 300, get an enduro, get a Yamaha WR250, ride some dirt. You can hop on trails when you want to do a little bit of street, really learn how to ride, and then you can hop on a normal street bike and you'll be 10 times better. You will progress way faster than you would if you just jump on to a street bike. And I think anybody in this friend group will agree with me because everybody rode dirt pretty much prior to getting a motorcycle. So that's pretty much going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.